President Paul Biya has revealed his interest to stand as candidate in the upcoming presidential election. Ines Mbaka has been elected president of the Cameroon Bar Association General Assembly. These and more in this newscast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on this edition of the Primetime Newscast from Bamenda, Cameroon. For Adianko, I am Gashi Sharon. Let's kickstart the news with the football tournament that was organized by the Development for Humanity that concluded last weekend. For me, Schneider tells us more.
The football tournament, organized by Development for Humanity and sponsored by the FIFA Foundation, concluded last weekend with electrifying energy, showcasing raw talent, teamwork, and community pride. Held at the GBHS Bamendankwe Sports Ground, the event brought together 8 teams, which included the amputees, the Muslim and Bororo communities, girl football teams, and male football teams, each vying for the coveted prize. This tournament was organized with the aim to galvanize peace and social cohesion between the Muslim and the grassroots communities in the Northwest region with the advent of the inherent armed conflict. The final match saw La Mancia FC edge past CBC FC with a thrilling 3-2 victory over a penalty shootout. Spectators, including local leaders and fans, graced the event with cheers and chants, celebrating not just the competition but the spirit of unity. This tournament is more than football. It's about building confidence, discipline, and communities, said one of the organizers, who emphasized the role of sports in development and unity. As the sun sets on the final whistle, one message rang clear: Bamenda's future is bright and kicks with purpose.
What did you get better with the ball? Daniel is in this space. Oh, that's a very
Barrister Ines Mbaka has been declared president of the Cameroon Bar Association. This was after the elections that took place yesterday in Yaoundé. Let's get details from this report. The voting for the Cameroon Bar Association Council members of the General Assembly finally took place yesterday, Monday, 14th of July, 2025 at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sports Complex. The voting, which was officially scheduled to take place on Monday morning, ended up starting later in the day after facing so much delays from some lawyers who rejected electronic voting, thereby prompting the adoption of alternative methods to ensure a smooth election. The bar elections, which over the years extended over several days before the council president is confirmed, took another turn this year as Ines Mbaka was elected the president of the General Assembly of the Cameroon Bar Association on the same date, where he received 1,017 votes, defeating his opponent Dominique Foz, where he secured 917 votes. Barrister Edward Lyonga was also elected as the vice president of the General Assembly after the elections that took place during the extraordinary and ordinary elective of the Cameroon Bar Association. And on to political news, President Paul Biya has revealed his intentions to stand as the presidential candidate for the upcoming elections. Let's get details in this report.
92-year-old President Paul Biya has revealed he will be seeking re-election for an 8th term come the 2025 October elections in Cameroon. He made the revelation on Sunday, July 13th, 2025, in a post on his X handle, a bid which could see him remain in power for over 4 decades. According to President Biya, his decision comes following calls from all 10 regions and the diaspora for him to seek another term in office. Less than 24 hours after he announced his candidacy, some youths belonging to the CPDM party have donated 40 million francs to the president, with 30 million intended to cover his candidacy deposits and 10 million for his campaign allowance. The sum was officially received by the Minister of State, Secretary General of the Presidency of the Republic, Ferdinand Ngongo, at the Unity Palace. Note that President Paul Biya is now the third CPDM member to declare interest for the presidential race, but the party is yet to hold a congress to officially choose its candidate. At 92, Paul Biya is the world's oldest sitting president and has ruled Cameroon since 1982, and if re-elected, he will serve until age 99 by 2032.
Still on political page, presidential candidate Maurice Kamto has filed a petition with the Constitutional Council to recognize a legal non-existence of the electoral body as convened by the presidential decree of July 11, 2025. The 10-page document filed today, July 14, 2025, challenges the compliance with existing legal provisions, particularly those related to the publication of the National Electoral Roll, a prerequisite mandated by the electoral law, which according to the petitioner was not properly observed by Elections Cameroon. Supported by a group of lawyers, Maurice Kamto is requesting the regularization of the process. And on to foreign news, Nigeria's former president has reportedly died after a brief illness in London, UK. He was said to have died of leukemia. Let's get details in this report. Muhammad Buhari, the former president of Nigeria, has passed away, according to a statement from his spokesman Garba Shehu. He died on Sunday, July 13, 2025, at the age of 82 in a clinic in London, United Kingdom. The news was announced by Garba Shehu in a post on X, where he prayed that Allah will accept Buhari in Al-Jannatu Firdaus. Buhari had been receiving medical treatment in London since April 2025 after initially traveling for a routine medical checkup. His health had reportedly deteriorated and he remained abroad for treatment. There have been previous rumors about Buhari's death, particularly during his time of office, which were often fueled by his prolonged absences for medical treatment abroad. However, these claims were reportedly denied and debunked by fact checks. It's worth noting that Buhari served as Nigeria's president from 2015 to 2023 and was known for his military background and policies during his reign. May his soul rest in peace. And still on international page, US President Donald Trump has expressed deep disappointment in Russian President Vladimir Putin, but maintained that he is not yet done with him. I'm disappointed in him, but I'm not done with him, Trump said, reflecting on failed efforts to end the war in Ukraine, including four near-deal moments that untimely collapsed. When asked about trust, Trump remarked bluntly, "I trust almost no one." He also confirmed U.S. plans to send weapons to Ukraine and warned of severe tariffs on Russia if there was no ceasefire deal in 50 days. Despite previously calling NATO obsolete, Trump endorsed the alliance and its common defense principle after meeting with NATO chief Mark Rutte. Speaking a year after surviving an assassination attempt, Trump told the BBC, "I don't like to think about it. It did change me," adding that dwelling on it could be life-changing. On Putin's action in Ukraine, Trump added a pointed anecdote: "We'll have a great conversation, I'll say. That's good. I would think we are close to getting it done. And then he will knock down a building in Kiev. And it is on this note, ladies and gentlemen, that we have come to this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Abakwa Television. The news was produced by David Baldrek, supervised by the station's director, King Wills. And at the anchor, I am Gashi Sharon. Do stay in the company of more interesting programs coming up on Abakwa TV. Good night.